My fellow community members, some of Lewiston's key department heads are here with me to provide residents with an overview of our day-to-day local response to the current global public health emergency. Deputy City Administrator Dennis Dote, Fire Chief Brian Stockdale, and our Director of Economic and Community Development, Lincoln Jeffers. Before I begin, it's important to acknowledge and recognize the many frontline heroes that are working to keep our community safe, such as our doctors, nurses, hospital staff, and emergency medical responders, who are putting their own health and safety at risk to keep others safe and healthy in our community. We applaud police officers and firefighters who continue to protect and respond to community needs, as well as Lewiston Public School employees who are striving to make sure no child goes hungry in our community. We also thank maintenance workers, custodians, postal workers, those who stock food shelves, and pharmacy workers. The list could go on. Lastly, we must recognize our many nonprofits who are serving with limited resources, our many vulnerable community members, but certainly not with limited passion and dedication. On behalf of the entire Lewiston City Council and our community, we sincerely thank them from the bottom of our hearts. We recognize the pressure that you're under, and you have all risen beyond what words can adequately describe. Yesterday, Governor Janet Mills issued a Stay Healthy at Home order. We have published this order along with other previous orders on our website, and I encourage you to read this order in its entirety to ensure compliance. I applaud and thank Governor Mills for issuing the Stay Healthy at Home order. Lewiston has limited resources, and specifically our healthcare system is relied upon by other cities and towns beyond our borders. Last week, I shared with the governor's office my belief that a comprehensive statewide order was needed. Without this statewide order, the risk is too high for our healthcare system to effectively respond to this dangerous virus. It is my hope and belief that as a community, we each do our part to keep our healthcare workers and our many first responders safe. I also expect our police and code enforcement departments will diligently enforce the governor's mandate. Our lives have changed significantly only from a few weeks ago. What was the normal day-to-day activity is not normal anymore. Despite these changes, let me assure you that the City Council and I, along with our department heads and staff, are working every day to prepare and respond to the challenging needs within our community. There is no doubt that the coronavirus is testing our resilience, but the City of Lewiston and its people are strong, and we always persevere. The city has been monitoring incoming data, reviewing projection models, attending main CDC briefings, and communicating with our local healthcare leaders and community partners. We are also communicating with the governor's office through Senator Nate Libby as we establish our city protocols and response. Maine has already experienced 7 deaths, and as of today, Androscoggin County had confirmed 12 cases of coronavirus. The Maine CDC believes community spread is occurring within Androscoggin County, and we must take the governor's mandate seriously to protect the residents of Lewiston. In times like these, we see what we're made of. We see who the helpers are, the givers, the educators, and the caretakers. We see the true character of a community. I have already seen so many acts of kindness, both small and large, that have assured me that we are indeed resilient and that we will recover strong. With each of us doing our part, our community's strength will carry us forward. Please join me in keeping Lewiston safe. And now I'd like to turn this over to our Deputy City Administrator, Dennis Dote.
Good afternoon, Lewiston. On March 12th, 2020, our incident command structure was stood up in response to COVID-19. At the same time, I was appointed the incident commander for the response. I want to ensure our residents that although incident command was established on March 12th, the planning and preparation for its potential impact on our community was long underway before that date. In late February, early March, our IT department began preparing for potential increase in remote working capabilities, and our pandemic response plans were actively being updated by each city department. Fire Chief Brian Stockdale has been appointed the planning section chief under the incident command structure. He'll provide an update here in a moment related to the planning activities up to this point. Beyond the work that Chief Stockdale will discuss in a moment, we continue to maintain open communications with multiple agencies in our communities that are serving our most vulnerable members at this time. We continue to maintain strong communications with our homeless shelters, Seniors Plus, Meals on Wheels, Salvation Army, and many other organizations in an effort to understand their current needs and to assist with anticipating challenges as this continues to evolve. I wanted to take a moment to assure the community that we are committed to getting information out to the public in a timely fashion. Our offices may be closed, but our dedication to the public has not wavered. Connecting face-to-face isn't possible at the moment, but we are still here. You will get a live person when you call City Hall, and we will do our best to assist with limited staff, a reduction of which was necessary to protect our own employees. Lewiston currently has a great deal of information on its website about COVID-19, and this is located lewistonmaine.gov. Please check it out. There's lots of great information on there. We are also communicating through our Facebook, Twitter, press releases, and newly established Instagram. We also have multi-language audio and visual information available on our web, and members of the Lewiston Youth Advisory Council are posting social distancing videos for our social media, one of which you'll see at the end of this briefing. In addition, we have portable message board signage sited within the community, and our public parks are posted with social distancing guidelines. I would encourage folks to refer to Lewiston's website often. Information is on the front page, and to include an update link to our resource page that has content about 211, applying for unemployment, social distancing, business supports, mayoral statements, and much more. Again, we are here for you, and we are all in this together. Turn it over to Chief Stockdale.
Thank you, Mr. Dote. The recent decisions to close schools, businesses, and to restrict public contact and movement have been made so that many people as possible can stay safe during these unprecedented times. The City of Lewiston and its community partners are doing everything possible to mitigate this emergency in our community. City staff has been evaluating services and implementing plans that will allow the city to continue offering essential services and implementing plans that will allow us to keep the city moving forward. Essential services such as administration, sanitation, and public safety. We have been engaged in discussions with local hospitals, nonprofits, and other community businesses to identify community needs and to develop plans to address those needs. Staff has been working tirelessly to identify and acquire the resources needed to support the plans that we do make. You can help our community by following some of these safety tips. First of all, we want to remember to keep our distance. Keep your 6 feet. At the same time, please heed the governor's warning and the governor's order. Wash your hands, practice good hygiene. You also need to take care of yourself, take care of your body. You can do this by eating as healthy as you can, exercising, go outside, while certainly remembering to keep your distance. Try to get a good amount of sleep. Relax, take breaks from the news cycle. Take care of yourself, connect with others, social media, on the phone, or any way you can. With all this being said, we are going to be home more. Some of the main tips from the fire point of view would be to make sure that your smoke alarms work on every level of your home. Take extra care when cooking. Never leave a cooking unattended and leave children alone with those hot pots. Plan an escape route in case there is a fire. in your home and make sure everybody in the property can get out safely. Even though we are doing everything we can, we need community support to make this work. Ultimately, we all have a part to play in this. We appreciate what you're going to do. We're going to appreciate your assistance in this, and together we can be as safe as possible and respond to these unprecedented times. I'm going to turn it over to Lincoln Jeffers. Thank you.
Yes, hello. My name is Lincoln Jeffers, Director of Economic and Community Development for the city. And as Brian just said, I'm sorry that we're really needing to have this communication. These are unprecedented times, but know that your city is really doing our best to reach out and figure out how we can best help you. My staff has been trying to reach every business. That really came from the directive of the mayor, but recognize there are only 3 people on my staff and there are 1,200 local businesses. So if you have not heard from us and you have real needs, please reach out to us, either myself, Misty Parker, or Heidi McCarthy. And our contact information is available on the city's website. As Dennis Dote had indicated, really keep checking the city's website. There is a lot of information available there. Right on the front page, there is a coronavirus resources and update, and everything I'm about to say will be available there, including links to various programs. Some of the first steps the city took was we extended the due date on real and personal property taxes that were due on March 15th to June 1st. So you've got a little bit of flexibility there to help with your cash flow. I wanted to note, if you have a loan with the city, whether it's a lead or CDBG or any of the loans that you might be funding, you're paying the city, please reach out to us if you're having a difficult time meeting your obligations, and we will consider providing forbearance on that loan. On a related note, if you have got a loan on a multifamily property that is guaranteed by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, we just recently learned that they will also be providing forbearance on loans. So I would encourage you to explore that with your lenders. And on that note, really, you should reach out to your local and established lenders, those folks you already have loans with. They know you, they know your history, and I think many of the local lenders I've spoken with are looking to be flexible. We're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out how to do this, keep our economy afloat, and I think your best contacts really can be those folks who you already have you have obligations, but you should also have relationships with. Your local banks are also a conduit for some of the programs I'm about to touch upon, which are both through the SBA and the Finance Authority of Maine. One that's gotten a lot of press recently is an Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. That is from the SBA. That is for businesses that have 500 or fewer employees, which I think that must be a national program because they consider that a small business. I think most businesses in Maine have well under 500 employees. This is really intended to help with working capital. You can borrow up to $2 million under that. Once you have a completed and accepted application, within 3 days of that, you actually can receive a $10,000 advance on the loan. That is something that just recently became public that we're aware of. That $10,000 does not need to be repaid. So even if you don't decide to go with the loan, so that's a really good resource to quickly get your hands on $10,000. I know from what I've heard from various local businesses, the SBA website is pretty challenging to work with right now because everybody is hitting it, but there's $10,000 available right there. The Finance Authority of Maine, better known as FAME, is offering a series of loans up to $5,000 at low to no interest for individuals, employees, and self-employed. These are really intended to be 30-day loans. You can get up to 3 of them, and no payments will be due during those first 90 days, but they do note that it does need to be paid back within 6 months at the end. But again, you would go to your local lender and ask if they're participating in that program from the Finance Authority of Maine. The federal government is, we've been keeping a very close eye on this. They just passed the CARE Act last week. Details on much of this is still evolving, but one of the biggest ones is something called the Paycheck Protection portion of that act. It is really an incentive for businesses to keep people on the payroll or hire back employees that have been laid off. Employers can borrow up to $10 million to cover payroll, rent, mortgage interest, and utilities, and loans will be forgiven if you keep all workers on the payroll for 8 weeks. A lot of the details on that are still coming out, but that's the first blush of what we've seen. Unemployment insurance has also been expanded under the CARE Act. It now includes the self-employed, which I know many folks were suffering. We had many small businesses, sometimes just one-person operations, and they didn't feel they could access it. And they now are eligible for unemployment. The state of Maine eliminated the 1-week waiting period. The CARE Act extends the time frame which unemployment insurance will be available for 13 weeks beyond the state limit. And something that also recently just came to light is that the federal government will be adding $600 to the weekly benefit on top of what the state provides. So I strongly encourage you to reach out and get yourself on unemployment if you have the need. You can also get small business counseling and technical assistance from small business counselors over at the Androscoggin Valley Androscoggin Valley Council of Governments in Auburn. And also some good news, the city is developing some new programs based on the feedback we've been getting from citizens and business owners. We just got word literally about 2 hours ago that there will be a second round of community development block grant money coming to the city in the amount of about $538,000. There will be a webinar this Friday where we will find out from the federal government what sort of rules will be applied to that, and hopefully early next week we'll be able to start putting together some programs. And with that, I wish you all well as we all get through this together. Please reach out to the city any way we might be able to help you, or if there's needs that you're having unmet. To finish this up, we will now see a 1-minute video that was put together by the Lewiston Youth Advisory Council about social distancing. Thank you and stay well.
Hello, my name is Riley May-Ammer, and I am the secretary for the Lewiston Youth Advisory Council. I've been on the council since July, and I am also Lewiston's Youth Poet Laureate. I don't have a poem for you today, but I do have a special message to tell you to social distance and maintain a healthy environment for you in your home to keep you mentally stable and healthy. There's so many fun things to do inside that comply with social distancing, like drawing something, playing with pets outside, doing some routine cleaning, reading or rereading a good book, and even just watching some TV. So there are some awesome things you can do inside to keep yourself occupied during this quarantine. However, my main message today that I wanted to get out is about social distancing and how we really need to practice it and be considerate of others, like immunocompromised people like myself, elderly people, and very young people, and even already sick people, to make sure that we're all healthy, we're all safe, and that we can kick this virus in the butt. So I really encourage you to find some great things to do inside and to make sure you are maintaining social distancing, staying 6 feet away from large groups and multiple people at a time, always. So I hope that you are in great health right now, and I'd like to thank you for watching this clip. Thank you.